Limitless memory. How to retain information. It's no secret that reading is beneficial. Armed with this knowledge, we strive to read as much as possible. Thousands of pages pass through our minds, but how much of them do we actually retain? The volume of reading is less important than what stays with us and for how long. Hermann Ebbinghaus might have wondered about this himself, as he discovered that our memory decays exponentially. Through his studies, he memorized random syllables and then tested how much he remembered after various periods. He found that after an hour, only half was retained, after 10 hours, just a third, and after a week, about 20% remained. Surprisingly, this 20% persisted for a month. Ebbinghaus called this pattern the forgetting curve. Almost 50 years later, British psychologist Alec Mace suggested that by reviewing information at specific intervals, one could retain it indefinitely. Testing this theory, he found that the intervals needed to be gradually increased. For example, after 1 day, then 3 days, then a week, then a month, and so on. This led to the development of the spaced repetition system. So to remember what you read, it's essential to review it. However, you don't need to reread an entire book. That would be overwhelming. Just focus on the key points. Recalling the main ideas will help you remember the details connected to them. So, as you read, highlight the most important concepts and engaging thoughts. Once you've marked the crucial points, it's time to take a break. During rest, the brain's default mode network, one of the mind's most powerful systems, organizes new information, categorizes it, and makes sense of the experience. Sleep is the best rest for memory retention, as research shows that information from short-term memory transfers to long-term memory during sleep. So if you want to remember something, review it before bed. After resting and sleeping, it's time to review. Return to the text, find your notes, and rewrite them. But in your own words as simply as possible. Don't just copy the author's wording. Instead, rephrase it, sometimes expanding on the meaning, using synonyms, or even explaining the idea more deeply than in the original. This approach activates not only mechanical memory, but also associative memory, embedding the concepts with new associations and strengthening your understanding. Studies show that rewriting itself helps create mental connections that reinforce the material. Simplifying and explaining ideas in your own words is also an excellent way to understand any subject, a technique associated with physicist Richard Feynman, who famously used diagrams to simplify complex quantum mechanics. This brings us to the second key to effective reading. We don't just want to remember, we want to understand. If you can't rephrase an author's idea in your own words, you likely don't fully understand it. Ebbinghaus's research showed that meaningful memorization is 9 times more effective than rote memorization. In other words, we struggle to retain what we don't understand, but when information is simplified and personalized, it sticks far better. Now that you've broken down the author's ideas and filled any gaps in understanding, it's time to take another break. A week is plenty. You've earned it. Afterward, you'll remember and, more importantly, understand a great deal more. But there's one final step. Rewrite your notes again, not by merely copying, but by merging all the ideas into a cohesive narrative. Write in a way that's clear enough for someone else to follow. By now, you'll be thoroughly familiar with the material, and you may even discover new insights, allowing you to refine your thoughts further. This will be the third review, making it hard to forget the content. So by revisiting your notes a month later, you'll reset the forgetting curve, letting you hold on to knowledge for years to come. Naturally, some details may fade over time, but with your notes close by, you can quickly refresh your memory anytime it starts to slip. This keeps your mind sharp and your knowledge strong. If you found these memory tips useful, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Have you tried any of these techniques yourself? Share your experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear how they worked for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.